just like other emotions, it's here to let us know that we need to pay attention and that maybe something needs to change. Not that we're doing anything bad or wrong, but maybe the particular lens that we're viewing our life through, maybe it does have us seeing things unclearly, especially if what we're seeing is that we're somehow not good enough. You know, yoga would say that that's not seeing anything clearly, and that the true purpose of the mind is not to just constantly tell us stories and berate us and should us, but the true purpose of the mind is to illuminate back to us the essence of who we really are. And this is why we do these practices. No matter what practice it is, it's that remembering. So for my session with you now, I'm going to take you through an experience so that it's my intention, it's my hope that you can have an experience of each of these layers for yourself. So we'll start in a moment. I'll have you lying down if you're comfortable with that, and I'll walk you through that system. And then we'll do a little bit of movement, but it will be very gentle, and we're going to be moving in a specific way to calm the body and mind, and I'll tell you why that works. And then I'll just offer you practices for each of those layers, and then we'll end our hour once again with you lying down, and I'll offer you a guided meditation and a inner resource of safety. Yeah, so I think with that, please lay down and get as comfortable as you possibly can. If you're not comfortable to lay down on the floor, lay down on a couch. You can lay down on your bed, make sure that you're warm enough, and I'll have everybody create their own intention that they will stay awake. It's okay if you drop in and out, but I'm going to give you a lot of information in this experience. So if you could just say to yourself, I will stay awake and I will receive. There'll be a guided meditation at the end of my hour where you can really feel restored. So I hope to give you a mini yoga nidra. So I'm going to stay close to the screen to guide you through the yogic map of a human being while you're laying down. And then once I get you moving, I'll move back to my yoga mat so you can see what I'm doing. All right, if you've been still for a little while, for some of us, especially if we experience ourselves as worriers, it can be really hard to stay still. Somebody will say, you know what would be good for you? Meditation. But we have to learn to be still. And that's another reason that yoga helps us, because yoga knows that we need to move our body first in order to relax and be still. We need to discharge excess stress. So you've already moved beautifully with Wesley this morning, but if you feel like you have any tension that is built up over your lunchtime, I'm just gonna have you shake it out. You're laying down, but just shake out the hands and shake out the feet. You know, with the lips, open the mouth really wide, and then allow yourself to fully sink into the support of whatever you are laying on. And become aware of your physical body lying down. Feel beneath you and whatever it is that is supporting you, and allow yourself to be supported completely. We'll start with 6 deeper breaths in tandem with some tensing and releasing, which can further connect us with our physical body and also relax us. So on your next inhale, make fists with your feet, and then exhale, completely relax your feet and allow your feet to just fall away from one another. See if it's okay to have your feet and knees almost as wide as a yoga mat. And then big inhale and firm up the muscles of your legs, of your thighs, of your glutes. Make them really, really strong. And then exhale, let that go completely and feel the weight of your legs sink into what's supporting you. Next inhale, make fists with your hands and shrug your shoulders up towards your ears. And then exhale, let that go completely and feel the weight of your arms sink into what you're laying on. And then finally, firm up the muscles of your face. Nobody's looking at you, screw up your face. And then exhale, let that go. Bring your awareness to the crown of your head and picture that there was a wash of relaxation washing down from the crown all the way to the toes, touching into the forehead, which will soften. All the muscles around your eyes relax and let go. Relax the cheeks and the lips, tongue, even relax your ears. Feel the bones of your body heavy with relaxation and let your body know it's okay to let go. Diving into the sense of touch, notice air on skin. Notice temperature and texture. And notice how I'm saying the word notice. I invite you to simply observe. You might notice the storytelling mind, but see if you can just be curious about the sensations that are arising on the skin. You can scan the periphery of your body, noticing pulsation, sensation, and temperature. Just a curious observer. Our senses, part of our physical body. Notice now what you hear. Without judgment, just focusing completely on the art of listening to sounds that are far away and closer to you. Even though your eyes might be closed, and they never have to be closed, but if they are, even noticing what you see behind closed lids. If there's any light or movement or shape. Noticing any taste in the mouth or scent in the air. And do you notice as you bring your awareness to the experience of your physical body and where you are, that you become more present? And a key gift of yoga is all of these tools offer us this experience of being right here, right now. In states of anxiousness, we're not right here, right now. We're in the what ifs, we're in the future, but your body is always present. So bringing your awareness and using your body as a tool for the mind, using the sensations of your body, befriending them, noticing them, feeling all the aliveness in both of your hands at the same time, all the pulsation at your fingertips. It drops you into this moment. And for most of us, we're lucky enough to be able to say that in this moment right now, all is well and we're okay. And now bring your awareness to your breath. And start to deepen your breath. And bring your hands to the abdomen, please. And as you inhale, see if you can feel the pit of the belly or abdomen fill and expand with your inhalation. And then as you exhale, feel the abdomen descend back towards the ground or whatever you're laying on. I'm asking you to notice the expansion there at the abdomen when you inhale, rather than at the chest, because for some of us, if we're feeling anxious, it can be because we are breathing more into the chest than the abdomen. And that doesn't mean there's anything wrong with you, but some of us need to relearn how to breathe. Big and full, abdomen expanding, rib cage expanding. And then notice what happens if you, nice and easy, just let your exhalation linger. In anxiousness, it's our fight, flight, or freeze side of the nervous system that is on. We're always looking for what's going wrong. We're sitting on the edge of our seat. The exhale is connected to the relaxation response. So if we can lengthen our exhalation, then it's like sending a message to our body that all is well and we are safe. Now see if you can find a gentle pause at the end of the exhalation. Yoga would teach that there in that stillness, there is no mind. Now here we are experiencing the breath, the most base form of the unseen part of ourselves, our pranic body. So now start to feel just a sense of energy or movement, maybe outside the body or inside the body. When you inhale, can you feel breath around the hips, around the legs? Can you feel movement or breath in the arms? Now, it's impossible to talk about the energetic part of the body without me at least introducing a little bit about the energetic architecture of the body as you are experiencing it. And that is the chakra system. And for some of you, this will seem very theoretical, and that is okay. But for many in the wisdom traditions or in Western psychology, using one form or another of the chakra system can be a resource for healing. What I think we all can agree on is that our issues live in our tissues, and that's really what inner wheels of energy are all about. It's places in our bodies where our physical bodies and our psychology meet. So again, I'm only asking you to just receive here. As you bring your awareness to your feet and to your legs, and as you feel sensations in feet or legs, some passive yoga would teach that physically the legs and the feet are connected to an energy center that governs our thoughts around our sense of safety and security. So if we innately felt that we weren't safe in our lives, if we had some unseen beliefs based on our particular path in life so far and what we've internalized that we weren't safe, then we might therapeutically work with strengthening our legs and our feet. This is why standing poses in yoga can be so powerful. But for now, just bring your awareness to sensations of feet and legs, and just know that some traditions would say that our right to be here is governed by an energy center at the base of the spine. And then bring your awareness to the place between the pubic bone and the navel, right at the center of the body between the sacrum and the place below the navel. And know that in this area, yoga might teach that thoughts around our right to feel our emotions and to experience pleasure in our lives is governed by an energy center in around this area. And then bring your awareness just above the navel and feel there the digestive system in the area of the solar plexus is thought to be governed by an energy center related to our beliefs around our right to act powerfully in our lives. The way we see ourselves when it comes to our personal power and our self-esteem, our ability to hold our boundaries, our anger, all of that lives there, the fire in our belly. Bring your awareness to the center of the chest, your energetic heart space, maybe your spiritual heart. And yoga would teach us that our beliefs about our own lovability and ability to love others reside here along within the arms and the hands. We can think about our arms and our hands as expressions of our hearts as you bring your awareness to the chest, the arms and the hands just feeling. And then bring your awareness to the throat, governed by an energy center that is all about our beliefs, about our ability to speak our truth, the way we value our own voice, our ability to hear truth. Bring your awareness to the place between the eyebrows. It's governed by an energy center that is about our intuition and our ability to connect with our inner teachers, if we can trust ourselves. And finally, bring your awareness to the crown of your head once again, governed by an energy center that is thought to connect us to something bigger than ourselves, whatever that means to you, whether it be love or nature or intention, source, collective consciousness, the divine. And then scan your whole body. And now during this entire experiential presentation, the mind might have already been commenting, judging, filtering things we like, things we don't like. That's an experience of your conscious mind. I don't need to tell you how to experience that. We hear the voices in our head constantly. Now bring your awareness back to your breath and notice the spaces between each breath. These spaces between breaths and these spaces between thoughts. This is the pathway into meditation, into moving material from the unconscious into the conscious so we can work with it. or into just freeing us a bit more in the mind so we feel more peaceful and content more often. And then bring your awareness to the center of your chest. And visualize gold light, a ball of gold light right there at the center of your chest. And picture yourself seated there in peace. See if it feels authentic to join that part of yourself, just in your mind's eye, using your imagination. It's a powerful tool for attaining new types of thought. Just picture yourself there in the safety of the cave of your heart. And imagine joining yourself, that part of you that is always at peace, that always abiding part of you that is always okay. And that's a visualization that you'll always have. The yogic map of the human being. We went from the outside in. Take a deep breath in. Blow it out the mouth. Starting to move in time with breath now. I'll head back to my yoga mat. From where you are laying, if it's okay to stay where you are, hug your knees up to your chest. This in itself is a yoga pose called Apanasana. And this in itself is thought to generate a downward flow of energy, which for a lot of us who are feeling kind of nervous, we would say we have more of an anxious mind. We would feel that our thoughts are more chaotic. Cultivating a downward flow of energy by yoga postures or acupuncture that does that can help us feel more grounded. Now, I'm going to offer, and everything that we do on the back, just to say, you could be doing in a chair. If it's not comfortable for you to be moving around on the floor, you could be doing a version of this in the chair. What we're going to do now is we're going to just be moving the joints of our body. And I'll show you one way to do it because this is what I offer my clients to do in bed first thing in the morning to feel calm. But you could totally do this in a chair. So I invite you, and everything I say is just an invitation, to keep the right knee hugging into the chest. Exhale, knee into the chest, other leg is long. And then on the inhale, move fully with the length of your inhalation, really slowly switch knees. And as you exhale, hug the knee in. So you could be in a chair, just bending and extending the knees. But the important piece of what I'm going to show you now, moving and freeing your joints, is that you move perfectly in time with breath. The mind will want to rush you into the next thing, but just see if on every inhalation you can switch knees, and on every exhalation you can hug the knees in. And then hug those knees in again, and we'll just warm and free the joints of the ankles. So point the toes away from you and then flex them towards you. You can focus the mind on the breath, also on sensations that you're creating in the joints. But I want to give you the why as to why we're moving this way in order to calm down the body and the mind. Well, a yoga therapist is also looking to Ayurveda, which is the sister science to yoga, the science of life. And Ayurveda would say that there's an element called vata, which is related to air and ether, which is present in those of us who feel like we are a victim of chaotic thinking, who are a victim of anxiousness. Because if you think about the turbulent nature of air and ether, and you think about the turbulent mind, Ayurveda would say, well, that's a vata imbalance. And Ayurveda also teaches that that quality of vata can get trapped in the joints of our body. And so we want to free that often, so that dry and mobile quality is free to become balanced in the body. So bring your feet down to the ground so that your ankles are underneath the knees. And if it's okay, reach your arms on the floor above the head. So we're gonna do a couple of things at the same time with your breath. As you exhale, tone the pit of the belly a little bit. Lift the hips a comfortable amount, so you're lengthening the tailbone towards your knees, and at the same time, arc the arms down next to your body. And then inhale, very slowly lower the hips and reach the arms above the head on the floor behind you. Exhale, tone the pit of the belly, lift the hips, arc the arms down. And then inhale, very slowly lower the hips and reach the arms back up. So we're multitasking when it comes to balancing Vata here because we are warming a few joints of the body at the same time. This can be a quick way to move to discharge stress and to feel a lot calmer in your body. We do want to move the body in ways that we're moving in time with breath. It doesn't have to be therapeutic yoga. It can be walking. It can be qigong. But moving in time with breath is very balancing for this quality of Vata. Next time you lower down the hips, bring your hands to the abdomen again. Feel your body and notice if after moving a few times with your breath, if you do start to feel a bit more of an easy, balanced flow in the body. And then we'll keep moving. Arms by your sides. Open up the feet so they're mat distance apart. As you exhale, allow both of your knees to descend in one direction. Beginning of the inhale, beginning of the movement, bring the knees to center. Beginning of the exhale, beginning of the next movement. So back and forth you go, perfectly in sync with the breath. It's very powerful to merge the movements of our body with our breath, and then we're merging it with the mind, because the mind is using the breath and the body as a tool for focus. And we want to offer our mind healthy focus as often as possible so there's less room for negative ruminations, so that we can experience the peace of the present moment a little bit more often. Good. And then the next time your knees are over in one direction, if you are laying on the floor, press down into your hands, use mainly the strength of your arms to come to a seat. You do not have to sit on the ground here. In fact, it's not easy to sit on the ground. So sit up in something that allows you to feel like your spine is really, really long and your pelvis is aligned and neutral, so you feel like you're on the center point of both of your sit bones as we continue to warm and free the joints of our body in time with breath. Reach your arms away from one another and make circles with your wrists. Maybe you'll close your eyes if you like the idea of anchoring into sensations of your body, remembering that our bodies are always present. And so if we anchor into their sensations, we can be present too. That's warming and freeing the wrists. And then we'll bend and extend into the elbows. Inhale, extend. Beginning of the exhale, beginning of bending. Beginning of the inhale. Nice and easy. When we're balancing Vata, or as we would say in the West, our anxiety, we want to keep our activities nice and easy and not strain too much. Come into what we call cactus arms, and then as you exhale, come into internal rotation. Inhale, external. See, we're just warming and freeing the joints of the body, which at the very least, you're right. One of you that commented, motion is lotion. And that's what a physical therapist would say to you. But as a yoga therapist, I would also say that you are balancing Vata. You're balancing the dry and mobile quality of air and ether, and you're adding a little element of earth. Bring the right fingertips to the right of you. I'll be your mirror. Nice and easy side stretch over to the right as you exhale. Tone the pit of the belly a little. And then inhale, nice and easy, just switch arms. Up and over, side stretch towards the left. Press down into both of your sit bones. Use the entire inhale to switch. Side stretch towards the right. Tone the pit of the belly, root down into your sit bones, whether you're in the chair or on the floor. Side stretch left. Good. And the next time you come to center, just twist from the mid-torso gently over to the right. Left hand in front. Inhale. Other way. Every inhale, start to twist. Every exhale, complete the twist. Mind is wandering, that's okay. Just bring it back to how you're merging your breath and your body. Keep the breath long and deep, especially long exhales. Now come back to center, sitting any way that feels comfortable, and allow the right ear to descend towards right shoulder. Inhale, slowly head back to center. Left ear, left shoulder. Let both shoulders be heavy, shoulder blades drawing towards one another. And then pause and open the palms. This in itself is an embodiment of becoming receptive, which is not a usual state for us human beings. We're always doing, we're always going. So with palms face up, it reminds us to receive. And all I ask is that you're simply receiving here your own experience. There's no right or wrongs. I always say there's no shoulds or have tos on the yoga mat. But after moving your joints, just in that nice and easy way, you feel a sense of a bit of a calmer flow through your body. Can you feel more of the connection between your body and what is supporting you here? Physical body, outermost layer of the body. Notice how a practice for the physical body affects our energetic self, the mind. Maybe even movements of the physical body already bring us into peaceful true nature. But now let's tend to the pranic body. Now we can do this by manipulating our breath in really gentle, nice and easy ways. We can also do this by working with the chakra system as I ran through for you. We can also tend to the pranic body, our inner life force, our energy, by working with movements that are mudras. And I just want to offer you different tools. Take what you like. Some people really like mudra, and you can think of a mudra as an energetic seal. It's ways in which we move our hands. It's like yoga asana with the hands, sometimes the face and the body. And to decide whether or not you're somebody who likes mudra, palms open to begin, and then just join the ring finger, the fourth finger, the tip of the fourth finger with the tip of the thumb. The fourth finger is thought to be connected to the element of earth, right? So what do we need when our thoughts are chaotic and turbulent? Grounding. So allow the abdomen to soften and find your breath. And picture your inhale traveling up the length of your spine from tail through crown. And see and feel your exhalation moving down from crown to the base of your body, that first energy center, which is connected to the element earth. If we're working energetically as a healing resource and we want to focus on cultivating an inner sense of safety, we might feel our body's connection to ground. We might feel as though our sits bones are rooting into earth. Nice inhalations up the length of the spine, up the central channel, and long exhalations from crown to tail. And now separate that fourth finger and the thumb and notice if the breath is any different, up and down. And now join the finger and the thumb again and notice if it feels just a little easier to breathe in a smooth, clear way. For some of you, the answer will be, yeah, I notice. And for some of you, no, and that's okay. That's why there are so many different skills to offer. There is a breath technique that for many of us can really soothe us. Again, make sure you're comfortable. For many, it's not comfortable to sit for long periods of time on the floor. I'm going to show you alternate nostril breath, but I would like to invite you to try this mentally. If it doesn't feel safe for you to close one nostril and then the other, I would like you to just try doing it mentally, just imagining that more breath is coming into one nostril more than the other. So everybody, big breath in, allow the abdomen to expand. And a really long exhalation. You might even blow that exhalation out. If you find that it is harder for you to breathe into your abdomen, if it is harder for you to find deep breath, sometimes it's easier to really blow out an exhalation that can soften things. So when you're ready to try alternate nostril breath, as you exhale, you'll close down the right nostril and you'll breathe into the left. Close down the left and breathe out the right. Inhale through right. Close down the right, breathe out left. You might just do this mentally. Inhale left. Close left, exhale right. Inhale right. So basically you're closing after every inhale, just so it's easy for you to do on your own. Exhale left. Inhale left. Exhale right. Inhale right. Exhale left. Inhale left. We always close by exhaling right. Whether you are doing that manually or mentally, again, palms open, and simply notice for you. Notice for you if you feel like you're moving in to the core of who you are, but starting to get a little quieter in your inner landscape. Through this entire process, the mind has been interrupting. That is the way the mind works. And it's just our invitation as human beings to decide how we're going to manage that. You can switch the cross of your legs. You can do whatever you need to do in order to be comfortable, because we are going to move into some concepts and skills in order to understand the way of your mind, to maybe even practice understanding the specific lens that you experience your world through. And that has to begin by understanding that our thoughts are not who we are. All of us, even those who are experienced meditators in this area, identify with what we think. We identify with our beliefs. It was such a transformative concept for me to first hear that we are not our thoughts, because in the heart of that severe anxiousness that I was experiencing, my thoughts were just constantly telling me that I wasn't good enough in this group, that that person was thinking that I wasn't smart enough, that what I said was stupid. I mean, I was just constantly getting this feedback that was berating me, and I thought that was me. So when somebody said to me in that right yoga room that you don't have to believe your thoughts are merely habits and patterns that you've internalized from your upbringing and from the world at large. And when I really looked at that, and when through a yoga path, I learned that we can watch our thoughts. So there's the observer, there's the witness, there's inner self, there's bigger self that can sit back behind the conscious mind and its rambling commentary, and we can watch it, and it's better than Netflix as we start to really learn about ourselves. So this is the first thing that I'm going to ask, is that you simply watch thinking. At the very least, what you start to notice is that you're not doing the thinking. You'll just notice unbidden thoughts will arise. It could be a memory, it could be a judgment, it could be an image, it could be a letter, it could be a wondering about the future, it could be anything that is ungenerated by you. And the practice of just sitting back behind thoughts and watching them is what I'd like to give you the experience of for the next few moments here. And for some of us, it's helpful when a thought arises to inwardly think thought. So we're observing it, we're naming it, we're letting it come, and we're letting it go. Let's do that together for a few moments. Bigger breath in. Blow it out. Now, there are so many cognitive skills that can be offered once we decide that we are going to undertake the management of our mind. There's the understanding of, at any point, we are either choosing to believe our thoughts or we are questioning them. There's the work of Byron Katie, where we learn to question our thoughts. We learn to really interrogate our thoughts, which ultimately helps us to speak to ourselves more kindly and cultivate a much kinder inner dialogue. Now, you might have noticed when you were watching your thoughts that maybe your thoughts were, there was a lot of them and your mind felt a lot more chaotic. For some of us, we are more obsessive thinkers. So we're thinking about all the things we should be doing and all the things we should be doing better. So Ayurveda teaches us that everybody has a different constitution when it comes to that. And so you might get a different cognitive skill from a yoga therapist. But from a yoga therapy perspective, before we even analyze what we're thinking, some people really resonate with mantra. So this is a yogic skill where you are on purpose thinking in order to protect the mind. Because what we know from a personal development standpoint is what you think creates how you feel, and then how you feel creates how you act, and then all of the actions that we take lead up to our lives, lead up to our destiny. So in essence, if we're creating our whole lives in our minds, we better know what we're thinking about. And better yet, if we're not seeing things clearly, if we're thinking in ways that are harmful to ourselves and to our experience, then there are different ways that we can heal the mind. And mantra is a therapeutic skill that I'm inviting us to experience now, just for a short time. I don't have long with you. But mantra is a repeated word or phrase that you are inwardly or sometimes outwardly chanting. Sometimes people really benefit from chanting because you're getting the breath going, and that's also a heart-centered practice that can cut through all of the layers of who we are. Or you can inwardly repeat a mantra. Some of us are more comfortable with English words. I'm going to offer a pretty classic yoga mantra, which is so hum. And basically the meaning of that means I am that. So it's a reminder for ourselves to get out of our own internal dialogue, of our own egoic thoughts and worries, of our little dramas, and remember how connected we are to each other and to the world around us. And this is such a perfect time to have that remembrance. And so the way we practice so hum is inwardly, as you inhale, you inwardly repeat so. And as you exhale, you inwardly repeat hum. And for those of us with which meditation is a challenge, repeating an internal mantra can be a real tether for the mind, but we can also think of it as a protector for the mind because there's less room for those habitual stories and patterns and habits to create negative feelings within us that ultimately create actions that don't serve us. So a few moments together with so hum. Just do the best you can. And a bigger breath in, so, and a much longer breath out. I just had a very moving feeling of having a meditation like that with all of you in that moment. If what we think creates what we feel, at this time, in these uncertain days, it's natural for us to have thoughts of worry and concern. There is situational anxiety. So if we're feeling anxiety at this time, it's appropriate. The anxiety that I treated in myself and that I'm passionate about helping others with is sort of an anxiety chronic loop that steals life away. I got to the point where I wasn't even driving a car on my own because I was too afraid of having a panic attack in that area. But having anxiousness and fear-based thoughts right now is appropriate. Something that's helpful, though, is how to use emotions as a guidance system. And so what I thought that I would want to offer today is the guidance in fear. We all know that there's healthy fear, and that's the fear that is in us when we're driving around our cities, when we're going for a bike ride, when we're walking as pedestrians. We are all experience a version of healthy fear because that emotion is helping us to be alert and to be cognizant of the next right action to take. And look at all the right actions that are being taken around the world. We focus on the right actions. For instance, these thoughts are causing a lot of us to take action. For Danielle to create a beautiful experience like this, where we're making donations to help. You know, there are people that are reaching out to neighbors. There are our frontline workers. People are taking actions out of the emotion of healthy fear. But what happens when we know that our fear is irrational and it's holding us back from stepping into who we want to be? There's so much to say, but a quick way into that, what I would offer is, if the question in healthy fear is, what action do I need to take? Which is, it's helpful to be able to step outside of the emotion and think, what action needs to be taken here? Then the question that I would love for you to write down when it comes to irrational worry or what if thinking, the question is, what's the most loving action I could take right now? Or my personal favorite, and it's not mine, I borrowed this from an author that is escaping me right now, but if love had a voice, what would love say? And journaling is helpful because it gets us out of our patterned thinking and it opens us up to broader perspectives. And that's what the unconscious mind is all about, right? We lift the veil of the conscious mind and we're able to access some of our higher thinking when we're getting creative and we're saying, if love had a voice, what would love say to me right now? And maybe some of you are coming up with answers. Maybe that feels resonant with you. Maybe that you'll come up with something later. But what would love say to me right now? You know, that's been really helpful in my personal path. So I wanted you to have that. And when we open up to the voice of love, then we are connecting with that energy rather than the energy of fear, because this path of healing is really all about unlearning fearful thinking. It helps us when we need it, but it's really unhelpful in a lot of other areas, especially when we have fear of how we're showing up in the world. So remembering love is hugely therapeutic. So with that, I'd like you to lie down. I'd love to offer you a mini version of a very restoring practice that is known to cut right to the heart. And I'd like to show you how we can use the tendency of our conscious mind for good. If what we think creates how we feel, then we can choose certain thoughts to help us connect with the feeling of love and safety. So I want to help you cultivate your own personal resource of safety here in a few different ways. So lay down. You might want to tense and release the whole body. Take a deep breath in and make fists with your hands and fists with your feet. You might lift up your arms and legs and then allow yourself to completely let go into the support of the ground. If it's okay, knees and ankles as wide as a yoga mat. And feel the space below you. And let your body know that it's okay to relax now again. Feel bones of legs and arms sinking heavily to the ground. Feel sensations at the soles of the feet and the palms of your hands. Feel all the aliveness at the soles of the feet and the palms of the hands. Feel both of your hands at the same time. Feel sensations at your fingertips, even streaming beyond your fingertips. Feel the space above your body. Feeling of temperature and texture on skin. There's no more control of the breath now. The breath is allowed to be subtle. But as you exhale, that exhale can still be a tether for the mind. And you can bask in the pause at the end of the exhalation, bringing your awareness once again to the back of the body and how it's supported by ultimately the earth. And notice the more you relax, the more you allow yourself to let go, the more it seems the ground rises to hold you. And I invite you to really let yourself be held. I offered a lot in this short time. I acknowledge it's a lot to take in. And I want to offer you a rejuvenation now, a way in which you can use your imagination. You can use a visualization to restore yourself. So build in your mind's eye someplace in nature. Maybe it's a place you've been, maybe you build it, but it's a place that feels beautiful and safe. Maybe it's a warm sandy beach, maybe it's a certain grove of trees, maybe it's a garden. But this is you building your own inner resource of safety, somewhere that you can go for restoration. Build it for yourself. See the textures and the colors. Smell the perfect scent in the air. The place that you're building is the absolute perfect temperature. It's a place where you feel profoundly safe. This might be enough for some of you, just breathing in the beauty of nature around you and allowing yourself to be rejuvenated by that beauty and peace. For some of you, you might like to build on this visualization and realize that in this visualization, you're not alone. You feel even safer when you realize that with you is the personification of your inner, wisest, most peaceful part of you. It can be helpful to imagine an embodiment of the bigger self. What do they look like? The peaceful expression on their face. And when we don't know where to turn, we can commune with this personification of ourselves. You might even ask here, what do you want me to know? The first time I communed with this sort of visualization, that version of me said to me, do it for me. So if I was feeling the old familiar nerves for presenting from my heart, I think about that, do it for her. And finally, for some of you, it might resonate more to bring to mind somebody or something that makes you feel incredibly loved, seen, and safe. See them, picture them. And notice the feelings in your body and breathe big to soak up that feeling of being loved and accepted and seen and safe. Sometimes if we don't innately have that yet, we can borrow that in this way. We can cultivate qualities with the power of our intention. And we can use the tendency of our mind to create how we feel in this way. And therapeutically, when we offer ourselves practices to feel safe on our own skin, then we emit this sense of safety and groundedness in all that we meet. And this is important to know at this time because anxiousness and nervousness and stress is catching. So if we can cultivate an inner landscape that is grounded and calm, if we can reunite with a part of ourselves that has never been afraid, then we can spread this kind of grounded, peaceful wisdom. Finally, bring your awareness to the center of your chest and bring to mind that ball of golden light. And maybe you see yourself there at ease, perfectly at rest. Allow yourself to remain still. Bring your awareness back to your breath and start to deepen the breath. This is another opportunity to wake up to a brand new day. So this time we can do it with intention. You can use your breath intentionally as you inhale. What would you like to receive today? What qualities would you like to receive? As you exhale, you can think about your exhale as not only a way to let go, but to offer. And then slowly feel and see the breath moving down arms and legs, and bringing small movements into fingers and toes. And then those small movements can transform into bigger movements and stretches, a gift for your body. And eventually you can rock over to a fetal posture using the strength of your arms. Let's sit so we can close this digital sacred space. I really have been experiencing digital spaces as being just as sacred as being physically with people when we hold a strong intention. And I definitely felt it here today with you. This is a mudra in itself. It's all about gratitude, connects all aspects of who we are into one perfect whole, which if there was a goal of any of this work that I do, it's recognizing that we are all things. We are scared and we are grateful and loving and we can hold it all. So from my heart to yours, when I say namaste to you, it is the acknowledgement of that peaceful place in me, acknowledging that place in you. Thank you so much for having me and for being here. Namaste.
Thank you so much, Lisa.
You're so welcome, Danielle. Thank you so much for asking me.
Wow, what just an amazing array of skills